Welcome back to Pro Wrestling Edge. I am your host, the Dan Brewer, and I'm here with my tag team partner, the original bro, Josh.
What up, now? How you doing today, Dan?
Oh, doing pretty well today. How you been?
Doing pretty good, man. I'm excited for this weekend. Get the long weekend, the extra day off of work, 3-day weekend. Should be a good time.
How was your trip to the dentist?
It was good. I wish they would have actually been able to fix the tooth. So if I kind of get a little slur going on, it's because I was numbed up for a little while. And if I cuss randomly like Tourette's, it's because I just bit my tongue.
All right. See, I was thinking we'd have more of a slurred speech Josh than we do with coming out from the dentist. So, but man.
Yeah, no, they just put a cap on it. I got to go back for the crown.
Awesome. So we got a lot going on today. This is episode number 68. We're getting that much closer to 100, which is awesome. We got a guest that's joining us today. We're going to talk about RPW and Horror Slam show. That was the last undisclosed, undeniable location show we were at. Before we get into that, let everyone know where they can find you.
You can find me on Twitter at OriginalBro19, Instagram at JRut19, and on Facebook at Josh Rakowski. And then you can also find the Gucci Man on Twitter at NickCaz1 with 2 Z's, Instagram PWE the Gooch, and you can use his Facebook by NickCaz Lucas. Dan, where can the people find you at?
You can find me at Dan Brewer on Facebook, the Dan Brewer on Instagram and Twitter. Kaz you can find at what is it? Big Kaz PWE or PWE Big Kaz?
Big Kaz with the underscore, I believe, in the middle, 2 Z's.
PWE _ Big Kaz with 2 Z's on Twitter. You can also find Brandon at Brandon Kaz Lucas on Facebook. The podcast, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at PWE Pod. Please go subscribe, like our page, do all that fun stuff. Follow us, do whatever we do here on social media. You can email us at prowrestlingedgepod@gmail.com. You can hear us on Twitter or on Apple, Google Play, Spotify, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, radio.com. Anywhere you can get a podcast, you can hear Pro Wrestling Edge. So, yeah, any shout-outs, Josh?
Yeah, shout out to our main man, the Gooch. He's been having a rough time with starting a new job and everything else in life. So, and I know he's been missing on being on the pod. So, shout out to the Gooch, man.
Yeah, you know, he's got to, you know, you got to do what you got to do for money, and you know, he got a new job, a new position that has different hours. So, I know he's struggling with it, not being on the podcast as much. And actually, same thing with Brandon. Brandon got a new job where he works different hours to where we're not going to see as much as him either right now. But, you know, shout out to our brothers, Brandon and Nick. Anybody else you want to shout out?
My mom and stepdad for letting me take the lake house this weekend.
Yeah, Josh is going to have a good time there. I'm going to shout out Jordan since Josh failed to be a good brother and shout out his brother. So shout out Jordan. He always represents us down in Florida, you know, liking our stuff and spreading the word. So shout out to Jordan for that. Yeah, it's been a crazy couple weeks, and especially with this last Horror Slam show that we were at, which was the Horror Slam and RPW show. Wow. Breyer has been talking about a wrestling reset for a while now, and I don't think anyone ever really knew what reset he was talking about. But Horror Slam, which is Briar Wellington and Rachel Green, decided to do a reset on all their champions. So at the show with RPW, they crowned all new champions, which was crazy. Jocelyn got her title back from Pete. Peter B was the champion. Jocelyn got her title back. There was a three-way with Jocelyn, Alex Gates, and Peter B. So she got her title back. Which they used weapons in that match. That was interesting.
Yeah, that was definitely a different take on it. Spiced it up a little bit, you know.
And then, well, that was the only one that they actually announced at the beginning of the match that the title was on the line.
Yeah, that one was. The rest of them were surprises.
Yeah,
but we definitely knew.
They had a 4-corner tag team elimination match, and it was DTA, Adam Wick, and Jack Price versus Tanner Nix and Brian Conville, El Toro and Jarius of the Grey Wolves, and then there was Atlas and Nolan was a team. Atlas Hightower and Nolan Edwards, and your new Horror Slam champions, Adam Wick and Jack Price of the Death Threat Army. So they're now Horror Slam tag team champions, and I believe they're the Proving Ground tag team champions for XICW.
I believe you're correct on that. I know they came out with
the
more gold.
XICW tag team champions, but yeah, so now they've got some gold, which I don't know what Dark Kingdom's going to think about that, but DTA are our new Horror Slam tag team champions.
To be honest, I'm happy that DTA are the new tag team champions because now we can see Dark Kingdom come and try and get their belts back.
Yeah.
Because DTA and Dark Kingdom just sounds amazing to me, man.
Yeah, it's the last show before the shutdown of coronavirus. Jack Price and Tommy Vendetta were in a tag team match. I forget who they wrestled, but it was awesome to see DTA and Horror Slam. And looks like they're going to be here to stay because they're the new tag team champions. Then we had a match between Tommy Vendetta and the Big Bad Wolf Ace Evans. Tommy Vendetta came out on top, and when the match was over, he was named the Horror Slam champion. So Jeff King is no longer the champion. It's Tommy Vendetta.
I mean, there's not any. I mean, you can go on and on about Tommy. He's probably one of the best, if not the best, out on the independent scene right now. And this is just the first of many heavyweight championships, for real.
So Ace has already put out a video that he's gunning for Tommy. So I believe we're going to get a Ace Evans versus Tommy Vendetta rematch at some time. When Jeff King is back, he's going to be gunning for his championship back. So that's interesting. And something even bigger happened that night, which I think kind of surprised us all. Tommy Vendetta joining 24 Karat Productions probably wasn't as big of a shock as the other shock that we got, that Sean Lawhorn became the Horror Slam Deathmatch champion, beating Thrasher from RPW and Chuck Stein in a 3-way death match. Then he turns on the Guru and joins the 24 Karat Productions. And then Briar doesn't really like how things are going down, and he gets jumped by the 24 Karat Productions and is saved by the Detroit Punks. So Briar Wellington and Chuck Stein are back together after a long time of being rivals.
That was definitely very unexpected title change there to happen at the end. That was a very brutal match. I enjoyed every minute of it. I mean, Lawhorn bled and bled and bled. That was fantastic, man. And for him to come out on top at that was just even better.
He took the syringes from Chuck and
right in front of us too.
I have a really good picture that I'm going to have to post on social media. Josh, I haven't even sent it to you yet, but I have a really good picture of Sean with those syringes in his face. So I'm definitely going to have to get that up on social media. I've kind of held off posting anything from that event until we saw when we'd be able to go to the next one. But I know we missed the one the following day, and that we're all going to miss the next one as well. I thought I was going to be able to make it, but I'm not. But, yeah, just Briar said reset.
Dude, and they
and
reset.
Rachel and Briar did a reset.
And I'm not mad at them because it definitely spices it up. It freshens it up. It gave, talent that I really didn't think was going to – when I first seen Lawhorn, what was it, like 8 months ago, something like that, I never would have pictured him as deathmatch champion right now of Horror Slam. Never in a million years.
I mean, we saw him on
tag team champs.
I mean, we saw Lawhorn on SmackDown, was it 8 months ago?
Yeah.
And now he's deathmatch champion. He had that deathmatch with Peter B, and then now he's had a couple. He had one with Briar at one of the other Undisputed location shows, and he's your Horror Slam deathmatch. Imagine some of the matches that we can get now with Lawhorn.
Dude, I know, man.
Chuck's gunning for him.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be – I think that's going to be the main event possibly at the next showdown here, the next undisclosed location. We'll have to see what happens.
I don't know, man. I know the Guru is not happy because the Guru is one that took the shot in the ring from Lawhorn. And I was kind of giving Guru a little grief just to get him going, but I love the Guru, but they're not happy with Mr. Lawhorn. So it is definitely going to be interesting to see what's going on.
Another one of my favorite matches. I completely forgot his name. I'm sorry. I just started following him and stuff. But from RPW, the 7-foot tall man.
Chris Calloway?
Yeah.
Him and Dre Jacobs.
Yeah, I was really impressed by him, dude. I love them big dudes, man. That shit's crazy. 7 foot tall, doing the choke slams and all that stuff.
Dre Jacobs came out first, and I'm like, no one's gonna, it was a fans bring the weapons match. I was like, well, Dre Jacobs got this in the bag, and then even the look on Dre Jacobs' face when Calloway came out, he was like, they said he was 7'1".
Yeah, that's what they were billing him as, 7'1", dude. And now I'm 6'2", and when I gotta look up to you, that's just crazy.
I looked at you, and I was like, if the ring is gonna break, it's gonna be in this one. Our guest is getting ready to join us, so let's bring him on. Let's let his audio come up here. Mitch Hewitt, what's up, man?
What's cracking, man?
Hey, we were just talking about the Undisputed location show that you missed that kind of your Detroit Punks had a big part in. So, but we want to talk about you here for a little bit. So,
all right, kill it.
We've been seeing you for quite a while, and since you've got into the business here in Michigan, Mitch is all over the place. So,
trying, man.
Tell us how you became a wrestling fan. Has this been all a part that you've always been a wrestling fan, or when did wrestling become a part of Mitch's life?
It's kind of always, it's one of those things where it seems like it's always been around. Like, I don't know. I remember, like, there's like a picture of me at like 4 years old or something with a tomato face Sting action figure when I don't remember like watching wrestling at all then. So, I don't know, man. It's just been around every now and then. And then I'd say like memory, it clicked in like WrestleMania 20. And from then on, it was just hooked, man. Like, I don't know. That's still one of my favorites. Some people aren't a fan, but I love WrestleMania 20, man.
So when did you decide to take that step to get into wrestling?
It's growing up, like as a kid and stuff, after Mania 20 and everything, it was like, oh, well, I'm going to be a wrestler. I'm always going to be, it's going to happen. But then as you get older, you don't, putting it into, making it happen. It's a little rougher than you'd think, but
yeah, no, life happens and.
Yeah, man. It's, I didn't know where to start, but I had a buddy tell me about Truth School, and I was like, oh, really? Okay, all right. And 2016, made it happen, man.
We're huge fans of Truth Martini. I actually went out and did a show at his wrestling school. I interviewed him and Matt Irish Heyman. It was going to be for the CCW show. And he invited us to come and sit and watch the class for the day. And wow, what is it like? I mean, just as a fan sitting there, and I've been a fan of Truth since his ROH days and before that, but and just the way he was given this knowledge and showing his passion for wrestling. How was that to get that from Truth Martini?
Actually, when I went in to be trained, it was like shortly after Donovan Dijak broke Truth's neck. And so he was there like the first day, all, braced up and everything. But I got trained by Paul Bowser and Dougie Creep. Okay. Some people got, hard opinions about Paul, but I'll always love him. He was hard on us, but, he killed it. He's one of those wrestling dads for me. Big
Paul
brother.
Was there. Paul was there that night. I was there. Movado wasn't able to be there, so Paul came in. And I can see what you're saying, but he gave it straight and gave those young guys, advice. And it can come off a certain way if you don't know Paul, but
he can come off as kind of a hard ass man, but it's because he cares. He gives a crap about the business. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I'll always love Paul. I'll always love Doug. They took care of me. Little later on, I got that tutelage from Truth once he was back and stuff. But for the most part, had them. And then, Movado at that time, he was coming in all the time. So I got a ton from Movado. I got a ton from El Ridiculoso, Dickie Bronson. Dickie Bronson was, I don't think I'd be doing what I'm doing without Dickie. He's the man. So I had a lot of killer dudes in there at the time.
We ask everyone, how was that first bump?
It sucks. it blows, man. Like you take it and then, you're supposed to keep going and stuff, but like you got this weird first bump headache. Your body feels all funny. Like, I don't know. It's not fun. Not fun at all. But you grow to love it.
And when you finished school, when did you finish school?
It was my class. It was myself, Zach Main, and Hyena Hagen, and we sometime in 2016. I'm bad with times,
but since then you went back to kind of help out the younger guys, because I've seen some video and some pictures of you back there after you were graduated to help out the younger guys.
Oh yeah, well after I graduated, I had I had a couple matches, and then I was like, oh, I'm gonna take a second. Second turned into a while. Life happens. A lot of BS happens, keeps you away. And then finally, like, a year and a half or so ago, really started getting hard back into it, man. But that's one of my favorite things is getting a new class, getting the new kids in. You know, you get an idea of who's going to make it, who's not. You know, sometimes you got a class of 13 people and only 2 dudes end up going through, or sometimes you got a class like ours where it was the 3 of us and we all ended up finishing through it, you know?
Yeah, you know, and I think the first time we saw you, Josh and I think was at Clash Wrestling. Josh, what?
Oh boy.
Josh, was that? Josh, didn't you want to ask him about Clash?
I don't recall if it was the first match we seen him at, but I wanted to get to your tag team match with Raven. How was that? Because I mean, as a fan, I marked out just meeting the dude. I was big into ECW and all that back in the day. So meeting him was awesome. I couldn't imagine what it was like to learn from him and be in the ring with him at the same time.
Well, real quick, the viewers at home can't see, but you got a Detroit Punk shirt. I love that. So for the viewers, take note. He's rocking a Detroit Punk shirt. But no,
That's
dude,
right.
that was crazy, man. Like, it's one of those things where they tell you, you know, he told me a couple weeks ahead of time, oh, we might have you tag teaming with Raven. And, like, you want to get psyched. You want to be like, oh, hell. But, like, with wrestling, you know, it's like, all right, you don't want to get your hopes up too much. You never know what's actually going to happen and what's not. And sure enough, get there that day, and they're like, yeah, can you go pick Raven up from the airport? And, yeah, you guys are going to tag and this and this. And I was like, oh, my God, dude. I'm the same way. ECW was what really got me hooked, man. Like, you know, WWE was dope, but once they started doing the ECW releases, that's when I lost my shit. Like, can we cuss on here?
Go ahead, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Say whatever you want.
Say whatever you
Okay.
want.
But yeah, dude, I lost my shit, man. Like, it was so crazy to me. Like, one, to get that opportunity, and 2, like, just, you know, the match was me and Raven against Breyer and RJ City. RJ City he's killer too, man. He's all around doing it, hanging with David Arquette, all that. And then Breyer, I don't know, as dastardly as he is, I love Breyer to death. And so to have that mix of all 4 of us, it was the coolest, man. Like, he's in the locker room and you don't want to, like, ask too much or say too much because you don't want to look like that guy. But it's hard to explain, man. But it was probably one of the coolest things I'll ever do, you know.
That's awesome. So,
go ahead, Josh. Go ahead.
So your love for ECW is kind of what carried you into Horror Slam and the deathmatch scene, or?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, that's, you know, got into ECW, of course, first, and then through YouTube and stuff, you slowly start picking up on CZW and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing dudes like Nick Mondo and, like, all them, like, Wife Beater, you know, using weed whippers and glass panes, and I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. I didn't know if I wanted to do it, but I thought that was the dopest thing I'd ever seen. Like, you know, that's the stuff you wanted to go and show your friends. Be like, look, no, this is crazy. They're bleeding everywhere. You know, stuff with Pondo and stuff. Pondo coming to Horror Slam, that was nuts. Because it was like, oh, man, Pondo's here. I remember watching him. That's cool. So, Horror Slam, seeing the deathmatch stuff, you know, I've dipped a toe a time or two, you know. But it's I don't know. It's really cool, honestly. I love it.
Yeah, so you said the last year and a half or so is when you really hit it hard. I mean, you've been all over the last year and a half. I don't think we haven't been to a show where Mitch wasn't on the show in some way. You are all over, you know, and it's something about those House of Truth graduates that yeah, it's definitely a high class of students that come out of there and the training you guys get, because it's like from the beginning you guys are off and running. You know, you know, if you put your mind to it, you guys are off running. You know, we've had Eric on the podcast. You know, Eric Ely. We've had Tanner on the podcast. You know, guys that are just going crazy right now, and you know, until this pandemic happened, of course. But But yeah, it just seems like guy after guy that we've had on, it's like, yeah, I went to House of Truth, I went to House of Truth, I went to House of Truth, you know, and
best school ever, man. I'm gonna say best wrestling school around, man. The amount of talent that comes in and out of there is insane. Like you mentioned Eric. Like Eric walks in and it was like, oh, all right, well this dude's gonna do well. Like this dude's pretty dope, you know. And then same with Tanner. Tanner, he's insane, man. Like I remember watching practice matches, and then out of nowhere, here he comes, whips out a shooting star, you know, or a standing shooting star, and it was like, all right, this kid's gonna be doing some cool shit, man. Like he's someone to keep an eye on. I like Tanner a lot, man.
Yeah, we had him on. I think it was right after he did his little squash match. I think it was his first match out of school at BCWA. I had him on, and I've been following him. I'm actually going to get him back on now that he's kind of blowing up a little bit, like you.
Hell yeah.
Like you and Eric did after school when you guys blew up. But so we're going to get a little bit of outside of wrestling, if you don't mind, a little bit.
Absolutely.
So first, what have you been doing during this pandemic that shut us all down? What have you been doing to stay sane? Are you a gamer, or you know, what have you been up to?
I'm not a gamer. Towards the end of it, it was really like you start feeling like, I don't know, it wasn't until I already started like working again that I was like, man, I should probably get a PS4 or something. But you know, for a while, it was doing puzzles, just anything to keep busy. And then like luckily, you know, of course, wrestling, it's not paying the bills for me just yet. So, you know, I got a shoot job and stuff. And we shut down once everything started. And then luckily, you know, well, I mean, 2 weeks in, couldn't get through to unemployment. So I freaked out, ended up getting a new gig. And so I got lucky there, man. So a lot of working, puzzles, trying to watch movies, just staying sane, man. Like, yeah, for a little while, I started getting hit with like, I think it's from not being around wrestling, you know, having so much done to your body to then just nothing at all. I started getting like the worst anxiety and the worst panic attacks. And so for a while, that's a little rough. Like I'm still working through the anxiety part of it, but you know, man, wrestling, just trying to watch it and I don't know, not much, man. Not much. I don't think I was sane, you know.
Josh, there was something that we've seen on social media.
Yeah, man. What was it? About 2 or 3 weeks ago, it blew up all over again. You in an ICP video. How did that come about?
Oh man. At the time, Paul, he had sent like a group message to a couple of the wrestlers, and it was just like, "Hey, ICP needs guys for this thing. Who's interested?" And I'm like, you know, I mean, I don't really listen to them. You know, I don't know much about them, but they seem fun. Why not? You know, I'm thinking it's going to be like a wrestling type show or something like that, or they need something wrestling related. Well, you know, show up to the studio or their like headquarters or whatever, and they got us all sitting around in like, I don't know, their conference room or whatever. And they're like, all right, yeah, we're doing a music video. We're doing this. For this, you're going to be dressed up like a demon, and you know, maybe we'll have you, you know, regular out in the party store or whatever. And I was just like, oh, all right, yeah, that's cool too, man. You know, I'm getting paid. I'm down for whatever, you know. So it was really exciting. There was, you know, a lot of cool dudes in there. Like you don't notice in the video, but right next to me the whole time. I don't know what happened with it, but they had Blake right next to me, and he, you know, Blake 182.
Yeah.
So it kind of bums me out that I don't know if they cut him or what the deal is, but you know, you had Alex Sky there, so there was a good group of folks. Some folks, I don't know if they want me mentioning them being there, but some higher up Michigan respected dudes, you know. So it was really cool, man. All the, you know, both the guys were really dope. It was interesting to say the least, man.
Yeah, you got some good.
You got an interaction with them, then?
What's that?
Go ahead, Dan.
No, go ahead. I just said that he had some good FaceTime in that video.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and did you have, what was it? Did you actually get an interaction with Violent J and Shaggy at all, or were they just kind of over there? You did the video and that was it.
Yeah, Violent J, he was kind of the first one. Like once we were all in the conference room, he kind of came in and he was just like, all right, hey, what's going on? You know, all gimmicked up and everything. He had his mat or his paint up and stuff. Really cool though, you know, really cool guy, you know. So while he was doing his parts, you know, he would kind of be in the middle of the room and we'd have to demon around him and do that type of deal. And so, you know, there was a little interaction with that, you know, kind of just being around him, you know, I didn't talk to him much. But I you know, got to have a good couple conversations with Shaggy. Shaggy was really cool, man. Again, it was one of those things you don't know what to expect. You know, I don't know these guys. I don't know what's going on with them. But he was really cool, man. Like the whole part of him, he comes in, shoulder checks me, and you know, I'm like, all right, and they're like, all right, and then yeah, talk shit to him, you know. And so at first I'm sitting here acting like I'm talking shit to him, like, oh, you know, like kind of playing. And they're like, no, just actually do it so it looks like it and stuff. So you know, they would have the music playing to like go with the video or whatever part of the video. And so, you know, while the music's blaring, I'm screaming cuss words, I'm, you know, motherfucking him and this and this. And then it would cut out. And so, you know, once it cuts out, then it's just a quiet party store with me screaming obscenities at him. You know, I remember specifically the one time it cuts out and I'm like, you fucking bitch. And everyone's like, whoa. But he was totally cool. He was loving it. It was hilarious, man.
That's awesome.
So
yeah, very cool dudes, man. Very cool dudes.
So you had said that you were big into the extreme or deathmatch wrestling and all that, you know, with CZW and all that, ECW. You might have a little bit of reason to think about stepping into a deathmatch now at Horror Slam.
Yeah.
Our tag team partner has decided to join the other side.
A real son of a bitch. Yeah, I saw the videos and I was like, huh. All right, I see what we're doing here. I mean, you know, got to do what you can with old Shellac not coming around. So if they want to shove him in there, you know, at the last Undisputed show, I had some choice words for him, but I don't know, man. Once we're rocking and rolling again, we're gonna see. There's already it's somewhat announced, but I'm pretty sure not this upcoming show, but I believe the next one, it's gonna be myself and they turned on him, so I had to call him out and pick him up, my tag team partner for the first time. I've been in the ring with him plenty, but Briar Wellington, man, I've had more matches with Briar than probably anyone I've ever wrestled. But this time I get to tag with him, and I believe we're taking on Sean and I don't know, one of those 24-karat ding-dongs, or I don't know, hopefully they throw old Jeremiah in there. I'd love to take a swing at him, kick his ass a little bit.
So, you know? As Pro Wrestling Edge, outside of everything, we have friends on both sides of this, this rivalry. And so it was very strange, you know, when that went down for us. There is one match that I really want to see at Horror Slam. And I really want to see a Mitch Hewitt versus Kyle Barrett match.
Ooh,
I really want to see that match.
I would absolutely love to. I think
that match would be really, I mean, yeah. I really want to see Mitch Hewitt, Kyle Barrett.
Him and I have crossed paths in you know, there was the one Undisputed show where, you know, I was tagging with old Ding Dong Sean, and then it was him and Briar, and you know, we had a little interaction, and then it was when we won the titles, when Sean and I won the tag titles at Horror Slam. It was like a 4-way, and he was part of that, and you know, so I've gotten my shots here and there, but I'd love to grip him up, man. I'd love to get a lot of shots on him.
It'd be nice to see a House of Truth graduate versus a Scott D'Amore graduate and see who's the better one.
You know, no offense to Scott, man, but Truth taught us well, man. I got his ass.
So we've seen you at BCWA. We've seen you at Clash. We've seen you at Horror Slam. Is there anywhere you don't wrestle locally here?
Oh, man.
Metro, you wrestled at Metro, haven't you?
Oh, yeah, at Metro Pro. I think they got, hopefully, a show still coming up in August that I should be at. UCW in Bay City, that's somewhere I still got to get to. Capital Pro, I haven't been there. I'd love to go there. Josh Raymond's his promotion. What is that, like ICW? I believe it's called.
Yeah.
I'd love to go there. So I'd like to hit the rest of the couple Michigan places that I haven't been, and then dude, I got to start getting out of state too, man. Start getting that name out, man.
So in Michigan with other independent guys, who's that guy that you haven't been able to cross paths with that you'd like to? Have you and Dread King had a match, one-on-one match?
Not a one-on-one. He's someone I would love to have a one-on-one with. Like not to outside, he's been a great big brother to me. I love him to death. But in wrestling, he's a dastardly son of a bitch, and I'd love to have a one-on-one with him sometime, man. Just wherever that could happen, Horror Slam, BCWA, I'd love to make it happen. Because it's the same thing. Had plenty of tag matches with him, had like fatal four-ways, all that, but never gotten a full-on match with the old Dread King.
Yeah, I just always have to shout out my homeboy. I usually try to bring him up on every episode.
Yeah, you got him, man. He's, if we're talking outside the ring, he's the greatest, man. He's the coolest dude in the world. He's one of my best friends. He's literally like a big brother to me, man. Like
Red King does the opening to our podcast, so
oh, okay.
He's literally on every podcast episode.
He would be. But
so once this pandemic's over and we're back to wrestling, whether it's soon or beyond, what are some goals that Mitch Hewitt has in wrestling? I know you said you want to travel some, but what are some goals you got for wrestling?
Just anything and everything, man. Like, I got to step up my game, but really, I just love to do whatever I can, get into whatever. We got our great Michigan indies. I love it to death here, but I'd love to get to the higher tier, top indies here, just really get the name out. That's the biggest thing, really step up the game and get out there, get a couple more people knowing the name. You know what I mean?
Well, there's a lot of people that know who Mitch Hewitt is for sure.
Never enough, man.
Because at least here in Michigan, because you're all over the place. Josh, what do you got for him?
Aren't you doing the show the drive-in show in Calcasco?
I am, dude. I'm very excited for that one. No idea who I'm fighting, but dude, I'm psyched for that one. The whole drive-in concept, I love that idea. So, I was pretty psyched when they asked me if I would want to be a part of that. I was like, yeah, dude, absolutely, like, definitely.
Yeah, they just had that.
Battle Royal, you got the win for sure because you always seem to come on top in any Battle Royal, that's for sure. We've been dubbing you the Battle Royal King.
What did I say to you before that Battle Royal? I said, Mitch, this is yours because you're the king of Battle Royals.
Sure enough. I don't know. It seemed like that one was a little too easy. It seemed like everyone was kind of eliminating themselves. I don't think everyone was ready for that
take the credit, Mitch. Come on, brother. Take the credit.
I will. I'll take it, but that's for damn sure. Battle Royal King.
Yeah, they just had that drive-in concept out there. Was it New Jersey when Nick Gage and Casanova fought? They had that drive-in concept for that show.
Yeah. That one was that ICW or something. I think I said that for
I forget which one that was. And then, that was the big one. And then Schlack and John Wayne Murdoch.
Oh, dude. I saw a couple clips from a couple different matches. Like, of course, plenty from Casanova and Gage. Saw a few things from Schlack's. And, dude, that's something like, hey, talk about goals. That would be killer to get to one of those no-holds-barred shows, man. Like, it just looks so gritty and mean. They got the chains around the ring. Like, I think they had a tire on a ring post. And I was like, dude, this looks like it's just a straight-up, like, I don't know, just some street shit. Like, dude, I'd love to hop in there, man.
Yeah, shout out to past guests of our show, Casanova Valentine, John Wayne Murdoch. John Wayne Murdoch kicked the shit out of Schlack. I don't know if you saw that or not, but
I saw a couple pictures. Amazing. That's one I'd like to see. I saw a couple pictures, from Shellack's Instagram and stuff, and I was like, oof, it looks bloody as always. So I'm sure it was killer, man. John Wayne Murdoch, he was another guy at Horror Slam that was absolutely coolest dude, man. He really good guy, man. All those dudes they bring in, like, some of the meanest looking, scariest dudes are the nicest, like sweetest, like, you know, pick them up from the airport. You think next time you see them, they're not going to give a shit. And it was like Gage going to pick him up, and he was like, "Oh, what's up, man? Good seeing you again. You know, this." And before I go up from a match, he's like, "Hey, good luck, man. You know, kill it." This. I'm like, "Holy shit! This is a dude. He could not give two shits about anybody. It seems like, and he ends up being like the coolest dude. You know."
Yeah, we just saw an awesome Nick Gage match. Him and Nate Webb out at GCW and Indy. We made the road trip out there for it, and yeah, those guys tore it up.
Oh,
that
was
awesome.
Dope, man. Always know it's gonna be good with Gage, man.
Well, Mitch, we appreciate coming on. You know, we want to be, respectful of your time and all, but
oh, dude, thanks for having me, man.
We appreciate you for coming on, and we'd love to have you on again for a part 2 down the road to see, see where you're at, man. But like I said, outside of Horror Slam, we have friends on both sides of it, so don't get mad at us if we're booing you and rooting for the other guys or vice versa, because we love all you guys, but we got to pick a side when we're there.
No, I get it, man. Don't worry.
Yeah. All right, Mitch. Is there anywhere that anyone can find you? Are you on social media at all?
I am.
Are you wrestling?
Mostly Instagram, like Facebook. It's whatever. You know, if you're a promoter, get a hold of me. It's Mitch Hewitt. Other than that, I'm not as active as I probably should be, or you know, I don't always check my stuff as much as I should. But Instagram, definitely. Instagram at just Mitch Hewitt. Otherwise, you know, I'm not too great with Twitter. I'm not too great with any social media. So check me out on Instagram again at just Mitch Hewitt.
And you can find him pretty much any show in Michigan.
Yeah, look around. You can find me, man.
All right, Mitch, well, we appreciate you coming on and joining us, and we'll see you soon out there at one of these shows.
Dude, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. You guys are the killerest. The killerest? I don't think that's a word. You guys are killer. We'll go with that.
It's now.
Hey, you just made it up, bro. It's all matters. All right, Mitch, we'll see you soon.
See you, Mitch.
Yeah, thank you very much, man. Take it easy, y'all.
Yeah. That was Mitch Hewitt. I love Mitch.
That was a great one. Mitch is such a cool dude.
Yeah, so Josh, let's wrap this one up here. Yeah, that was one I've been wanting to get for a while, and I thought this was a good time right after what happened at the RPW Horse.
The time's perfect, honestly. I mean, we couldn't. I don't think we could have planned it to work out that well.
Maybe we'll get since Mitch is a fan of death matches, maybe we will get a Sean Lawhorn, Mitch Hewitt death match.
We'll just have to wait and see, you know.
But if anyone's listening, we do want to see Kyle Barrett versus Mitch Hewitt one-on-one at Horror Slam. That would be a cool bring your fans bring the weapons match. Mitch versus Kyle.
That would make it definitely entertaining.
All right, Josh. Well, let's close this one up. Anything you want to add before we get to our closing?
Nope. We're just going to end it like how we always do. Peace out.